Welcome to the Trump Breaking News Network, your daily source for up-to-the-minute Trump news. Join us today and every day. Here's today's news.
This is TBNN.
We interrupt this video to bring you a special announcement. We will continue with your video after this short announcement. There is a massive boycott with YouTube and its advertisers happening right now. This boycott threatens our existence, as well as the entire YouTube channel database. You can do a search on Google to confirm this boycott. We urge you to help by supporting our channel with a $1 donation, just $1, to help offset our growing expenses. Our staff is working diligently to keep you informed and up to date on events and intel that you have grown accustomed to receiving. Our staff produce over 70 videos on a daily basis in English and in Spanish. This is a tremendous undertaking. This is why we use a computerized voice, because of the massive amount of information we provide for you. We accept PayPal donations, and our donation link is below in our description. When the boycott is over, we'll let you know. This is a serious situation for YouTube and its advertisers. If you appreciate our channel and the intel that we provide for you, then please consider this much needed $1 donation. I want to personally thank you in advance for your support. And now, here is your scheduled video.
Pence just stood in front of the troops and did something that will scare North Korea to death. By Danny Gold. Mike Pence has been hard at work this week making our alliances stronger and keeping our country safe. Last night he went on the USS Ronald Reagan where he gave a legendary speech. However, it was one warning, in particular, that's gonna really send chills down Kim Jong Un's spine. The United States of America will always seek peace, but under President Trump, the shield stands guard and the sword stands ready. Wow. That is a good thing though. Even General Mattis jumped on board, figuratively, with Mike Pence. He said, the leader of North Korea again recklessly tried to provoke something by launching a missile. For too long we have been nothing but a big pile of mush. No sword or even shield. Thank God we finally have leaders who know how to lead. And let's also point out the fact that Vice President Mike Pence is out in Japan and Korea and China and everywhere else securing major deals for us. He is so dedicated that he spent Easter flying to South Korea. God bless Mike Pence. God bless Donald Trump. God bless James Mattis. God bless the United States of America. Can I get a share and an amen?
That's the news. Join us here every day. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell. See you next time.
This is TBNN.